What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hope y'all had a great week of trading last week. I'm looking forward to this week. We got a lot of news, and we definitely have a lot of opportunity to capitalize from NFP week. So like I said, I'm excited about today. I mean, not today. I'm excited about the upcoming week. So those that are trading this week, if you joined in, my man Ish, what's going on? Hey, for those who are joining us, why don't you go ahead and chime in? Let me know where y'all coming in at. You know, always happy to see who joining us. So like I said, man, it's gonna be a really good week. I'm excited about this week, and so what up, Ron? What up, Ron? Yeah, man, get up in there, man. Yeah, we like I said, we got a lot of opportunity this week, y'all. We got some retracements, and so I definitely got a couple of pairs that I'm gonna be specifically focused on. Gold definitely is one of them. I'm actually currently in a gold trade right now. And I think I'm up like 184 pips or some junk like that. And so my target is around 500 pips on gold. I've never got over, I think the highest I ever went on gold was like 400 pips. And so that's always been a goal of mine to kind of get more than 400 pips. And so it's definitely possible because gold right now is retracing. And so I'm anticipating gold possibly getting up to like 1880 or even close to 1900, depending on the retracement. So I'm just gonna ride with the counter swing on the higher time frames, and then kind of wait for price to kind of do its thing or whatever. But great opportunities on a lot of different pairs. Today we're gonna probably look at US30 and NZD100. Those are some pairs I'm gonna start maybe adding to the rotation, because I know we've gotten a few requests for those, and probably within the next month or so I have a US30 strategy that I've been working on that I want to probably do a video on later on. It'll most likely be in November or probably December when I do the video, because I want to make sure that the strategy is A1, and it takes some things. It's not like any other US strategy, not just like anybody just putting out a normal US30 strategy and you like, yeah, you do this, you do that. So there are definitely some confluences that I haven't really seen anybody else use for US30. So I'm still kind of back testing it and working through it. And so once I put it out there, it's gonna be legit. It's gonna definitely bless some people. So US30 is one of those pairs that I've always really wanted to get into more, but I just haven't really spent a lot of time with it. And so I don't necessarily trade anything if I don't spend time with it, back test it, you know, kind of all of that stuff. So, you know, but once we kind of get into it and we get the rocking and rolling with it, it's gonna be a done deal. We're gonna be in it. Yeah, we definitely gonna be in it. So like I said, I'm definitely excited about it, and you know, we'll see how it plays out. But without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get into it. We always start off with a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this day. I want to thank you for life, health, and strength. I want to thank you for all of those who are under the sound of my voice, Lord. I want to thank you for all of those who are involved with the Pips Academy, and I pray that this particular channel will continue to be a blessing, continue to help those who choose to engage in Forex. And I pray that this continue to be a resource and add value and can possibly help. If it's only just one person become financially free, I'm cool with that. And Lord, I pray that anybody going into the markets this week, they'll have patience, they'll stick to their trading plan, and that they'll be more profitable this week than they were last week. And Lord, we ask these things in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all, man, let's get into it. Like I said, I'm excited about this week. I'm always excited about these weeks though. So let's get into it. All right. So looking at Forex Factory, we can see tomorrow we don't really have too much going on. We got AUD about 7:30 p.m. Central Time. NAB Business Confidence. I don't really know what that is. I'm not really familiar with that. Let's see what that's talking about. Why traders care. It's a leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and changes in their sentiment can be an early signal of future economic activity such as spending, hiring, and investments. Okay. All right, so we'll kind of look and see what that, how that kind of affects the AUD. But like I said, I'm not really familiar with this and how it affect pairs. So we'll probably check it out. So Tuesday, going into Tuesday, we look like we have a range for the Chinese yuan. So I don't really trade any Chinese yuan pairs or anything like that, but new loans are coming out for that. USD, we got FOMC on Tuesday at 12 noon. Okay. So let's be mindful of that. All right. Going into Wednesday, we got core PPI. PPI usually always happen after NFP. So we just need to be mindful of that. And then we also got FOMC at 9:15 on Wednesday as well. Okay. And then we got the one that it really usually pops off with at 1 p.m. So Wednesday at 1 p.m. This is the one that I'm looking forward to possibly have some fireworks. Okay. This one here might do a little bit of movement, but Wednesday, this is probably the main one that we're going to see a lot of volatility on USD pairs. All right, Thursday for our London session, we got the British pound. We got a gross domestic product that's going to be popping off. 7:30 for our New York session, we got core PPI for USD and unemployment claims. So should see a lot of movement on that. 8:30 that night, we got the Chinese yuan CPI. And then closing it off for Friday, we got the British pound at 3 a.m. And then we also got Euro and USD popping it off for 8 and 9 o'clock. All right, and then we also got the British pound, which will be ending it off on Saturday. Oh, yeah, we probably, markets are closed on Saturday. So what we might see on the GBP pairs when the market opens on next Sunday, we might see a gap, being that we got news on a Saturday. So just be mindful of that. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the market. We're gonna start off with EU, and like I said, we're going to add US30 and NZD100 to the mix today. And if you have any other pairs that you like to see, put them in the chat, and we'll go ahead and get to them. All right. So looking at EU, we can see that EU initially was bullish, okay, and then we transitioned to bearish, and then price actually tapped into this daily demand level here. And we got multiple taps into it. We got 1, 2, price came up, tapped into it a third time. And then we can see that we got a nice reaction here on our daily time frame, okay? If we go ahead and look at our, hold on, my bad. If we go ahead and look at our 4-hour time frame, let's go to the 4-hour. We can see that we are bearish as well, okay? Couple of things that we can see: lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high in this area, and currently right now it's resting in this supply zone. Okay, and then we're well within our premium discounted area as well. All right, so we just want to be mindful of that. And so price can possibly continue in its range, but this is really good, a really good area to take a short, but we want to wait for our confirmations before we do so. Okay, so let's look at our 15-minute. If we look at our 15-minute time frame, one of the things that we can see, if we kind of go back a little bit, we can see on a 15-minute time frame we had lower low, lower high, lower low. We had a break of structure, retest. Okay, price consolidated a bit here, but it gave us a little complex pullback here, impulse down, and then we got a price to kind of break to the upside here. Okay, so right now, a couple of things that I want to possibly see. So we have a couple of demand levels that price can possibly tap into on our 15-minute. So our 15-minute levels or structure, I'm looking for this area here to be my strong area. And this is my 15-minute high up here. Okay. And so we're gonna keep it real simple and utilize what the market gives us. So a couple of things that I can see. Right off the bat, I see this demand level here. Okay, this is the demand level that actually broke this high here. Okay, and it's a continuation. We got a bullish, bearish, bullish. So one of the things that we can see is price come back, tap into this, and continue to the upside. And then we also have a demand level down in this area as well. However, one of the things that we want to be mindful of before we even just consider, you know, this demand level up here, let's look at our fibs and see where we are within our Fibonacci. So if price get down to this area, I would like it to hit at least the 50%. I don't want it to just tap off of this and then we just get a reaction, because if something like that happens, I won't necessarily look at it, because for me and my strategy, I like to see 50% or greater for retracements. Okay, so if it comes down, tap into this area at least 50%, I'll more than likely look at something like that and we can continue to the upside. All right, because one of the point of interest is that I'm looking for, I'm pretty much expecting price to kind of break this H4 swing. You know what, let me backtrace for a minute. Let me backtrace. So being that price, let me move this over so it's visual to me. Okay, being that we're on, let me go to the 4 hour for a second. All right, being that we're on the 4 hour, and the 4 hour is already in this golden zone, I'm not gonna take any buys. I want to make that clear. I won't take any buys right now. Even though the 15-minute is bullish, I won't take any buys unless we get a break of structure on the H4 swing. Okay, I won't take any buys on this particular pair. So one of the things that I would probably wait for is a break of structure of the 15. So for me, EU would probably have to show a break of this here. I'm sorry, this is weak. This is not strong. So for me, EU would have to show a higher high and then break a low here and give me a retest, and I'll look for the sell. Okay, being that it's in the golden zone, this is hands off for me. I don't want to take any buys or anything like that. I need to wait for a transition on a 15-minute, possibly to the downside, because the overall structure right now is bearish. Okay, I want to be mindful of that, and I want to make that clear. Okay, I won't take any buys or anything. So if it does come down to this area, you know, if we do get price to come down to this area here and then continue to the upside, I wouldn't necessarily look at it unless it broke this area here. If it broke this area, then I'll wait for a reaction, you know, for the retest on the bigger time frame. But for me, this is too risky here. If you were to take a buy, price can come with this and then just tank all the way down, because we're ultimately bearish. All right, so for me, I'm going to possibly put an alert on this high here, just to wait for price to break that area. EU breaks H4, no, you know what? EU H4 BOS. That's what I'll say. All right. So that's what I would want to see for me to really actually do anything with EU, because this is definitely in a high risk area and this is hands off for me. So for me, I probably won't look at EU too much this week unless it gives this break of structure, and then I'll kind of see exactly what it does from there. All right, so let's move on. USDCAD. All right, so let's look at a little USDCAD from a daily perspective. All right, so if we're looking at USDCAD, one of the things that we can see is previously we had a break of structure on our daily time frame. Price came up, gave us a retest that was actually 50%. So if we go from the bottom here all the way to the top in this area here, you can see price came down, tapped within 50% of our fibs. And then it also tapped into this demand zone. It was a bullish, bearish, bullish continuation. All right, and then it came up and broke this high here. All right, so ultimately we're bullish. So this is our swing here, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we're looking for price to come back, possibly tap into this demand level here. Okay, structure is really clean, really simple. All right, so let's go ahead and add a daily demand level in this area here. I'm gonna mark up this entire area. Okay, daily. I'm gonna add this to my daily structure right over here. Okay, now let's go to our 4 hour. All right, so if we're looking at our 4 hour, a couple things that we can see on the 4 hour time frame. All right, so we can see from a 4 hour, we had a 4 hour breakup structure here. All right, price gave us an impulse up here. So we're looking for price to possibly retrace into one of these demand levels and then continue to the upside. All right, because we're bullish currently on the daily and we're bullish on the 4 hour. All right, so we just want to be mindful of that. All right, 1 second, please. Press that. All right, like I said, we're bullish on the daily and the 4 hour. All right, so one of the things that I can see for confluence is in this area here, you notice that we had a bearish, bullish, bearish continuation. This demand level, supply level haven't been mitigated yet. All right, because one of the things that we had initially, price came up, we can see on a lower level, came up to this area, broke, gave us a retest into this supply area here. All right, gave us a bearish, bullish, bearish, and it broke through. Okay, so we're looking for price to possibly tap back into this area and then continue to the downside. All right, that's one of the things that I definitely want to see. So if we drop to our 15 minute, let's look at structure. All right, so from a 15-minute perspective, we can see that we had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure in this area and a retest. Okay, we had our retest in this area here and then price decided to dip off. All right, so now we're already playing the 15-minute swing. All right, so what we want to do is see price possibly come back into this area and then dip off to the downside. So this looks really, really good to me. This particular pair though. So USDCAD will actually be one of the pairs that I'll be looking to trade this week. I'll definitely be looking at this pair. So this is our swing for our 15-minute structure. Okay, and so let me make this a little bigger. One of the things I want to possibly see is for price to possibly tap into this 15-minute area here. And then we can ride it down and take out this swing here. All right, let's drop to the 5-minute just to kind of look and see something. All right, so we also have a 5-minute, make that a little bigger. We also have a 5-minute supply zone here as well. Okay. Hey, you guys, let me know. So I just got a message that shows that the stream is moving a little slow. Let me know if you guys are experiencing some issues. Put it in the chat. Right now it seems like everything is going smooth, but let me know. Okay. Let me know if it starts getting choppy or anything like that. All right. But anyway, we could possibly see price tap into this 15 or this 5-minute area here. Okay, so those are a couple of things that we want to see, and then we can ride it down. So let's look at our risk to reward for that. Let's say if price tapped into this area here, and then we put, let's say if we had a stop loss here and we wrote it down. So that's about 2.5. That's like a 2.5 risk reward, which is nothing that I would actually take. If it's not a 3 or better, I wouldn't take it. So let's say if we did this here, that's a 3, that's a 1 to 3 in that area there. But if price came up to this area, tapped into it, let's say if we had our stop loss up in this area here, that's still a 1 to 3 in that area. So this will be a little bit more ideal for me. That way we can have our stop loss above our protected high here, and then we can ride it down to take out this low. Okay, so like I said, I have an alert already currently here. Let's see. Yeah, and it's already going to our Discord. So when price actually taps into this H4 supply, we can kind of look at it, evaluate it, drop to a lower time frame, and possibly ride it down to the low. Okay, so that's what I see on USDCAD. Like I said, this will be one of the pairs that I'm primarily looking at this week. All right, let's go to AU. All right, let's go to our daily on AU. So currently right now, one of the things that we can see on AU is it's bearish. Okay, we got lower low, lower high, lower low, and we can see price is kind of retracing and it's tapped into this daily demand down in this area here. Okay, so one of the confluences that we can also see is that we have a supply zone here that has not been mitigated on our daily. Okay, price can tap here and possibly continue to the downside. All right, so let's drop to our 4 hour and see what we have. And you guys can see we possibly go through the same processes, and we don't change anything. We just stick to the script, start from the daily, 4 hour, 15, and then from there we take our entries on the 5 or the 1 minute. We just keep it simple, just like that. All right, because everything you know, once you get an idea where the big picture is, that's where you can actually be mindful as to, am I going to actually enter into the market at this time, or am I going to stay out of the market? So hence right now, one of the things that you can see, price has tapped into our H4 premium zone. And so for me, this can be, you know, depending on what it looks like on the 15, if we had a break of structure in this area, I'll be looking to ride price down. However, I want to be mindful that we still have this daily area that price can come up a little bit higher. And we also have this H4 area that price can possibly come up a little bit higher as well. So I want to be mindful of both of those. So right now, because price has tapped into this H4 premium zone, it's hands off for me until we get that break of structure on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so we'll drop to the 15 just to see exactly what the market is doing. And so right now, what we can see is the 15-minute is bullish. Okay, we had a transition in this area that was a little weird, and I say that because we had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure here, but it also gave us another higher high. All right, and most of this action here came from NFP. So NFP and the banks, you know, of course, they were taking liquidity. You know, they were, you know, just blasting out a lot of traders who just traded the news as soon as it popped off. Okay, because this candle right here, this was NFP right here. This candle right here, that was NFP, this big long black candle here. All right, so for me, I didn't necessarily trade when the news first popped off. I kind of waited, and I caught a really good entry on gold, and I'll talk about that a little later. But for me right now with AU, like I said, it's kind of hands off for me. I want to see AU possibly tap into this daily or this 4 hour time frame, show a break of structure on the 15-minute, and then from there I'll be golden. So one of the things I would do is possibly put an alert here and say AU hits daily POI. I'll say that, and then we can possibly check it out and see where it is, you know, and see what structure looks like once it gets up to that area. And then once it gets up to that area, we can set some other alerts and possibly set one for the higher point of interest as well. Okay, but that's pretty much what we see on AU. It's not a lot that I'll be looking at because it's already in the golden zone, so I'm waiting for something to happen on the 15-minute. All right, so let's go ahead and look at GU. All right, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. All right, so looking at GU, you guys, one of the things that I can see is that way back when we had a break of structure. All right, and then we had a retest right up in this area here, break of structure, gave us a retest. It didn't necessarily give us that 50% that we were looking for, but it did give us a retest and it broke the low. Okay. And then from there, it pretty much crashed down with not a lot of market structure. Okay. And so for me, I kind of looked at this trend that it was presenting, you know, everything, because it was so bearish and no structure really, you know, wanted to draw this trend just to kind of sort out when it actually breaks the trend. Okay. But one of the things it did do, kind of sort of at the bottom, it tapped into a daily demand and it actually did give us a pullback. It's a 2-candle pullback, so it's actually valid. So we have 1, 2-candle pullback, and then it broke that structure. And now it pulled back again into this area. Okay. So now from a daily perspective, this is our, you know, this is what we're looking at. If we go to the 4-hour, it actually correlates with the daily. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Price coming back, and it's actually close to the protected high up in this area here. All right. Price could come up, tap into this daily, possibly continue to the downside or break through. We don't know which one it's going to do, but right now, price is up in this area and it's tapping into an H4 supply. Okay. Let me see. How can you identify liquidity on each time frames, and does it keep the trend valid? It just depends if it'll keep the trend valid. Okay. And so, like, for example, this trend here, I kind of drew this trend on the 4-hour. And so right now this trend kind of correlates with the daily as well. And pretty much, you know, that higher time frame. But as far as looking at this particular trend from a lower time frame perspective, I mean, if I wouldn't necessarily, like I said, it really depends. It really depends. So for example, let's just say, hold on, let me go to the 4-hour for a second, and then I'll talk about that validity of the trend and the liquidity in 1 second. So let's check this out. So on the 4-hour, we can see price broke through the trend here, gave us a retest, and then price gave us a huge bullish engulfing. Okay. And so it engulfed this candle here, letting us know that this trend possibly wants to continue bullish. But however, we did tap into this H4 supply here. Now let's look at this. If we drop to the 15-minute, what do we have? Oh, there we go. So if we're looking at the 15-minute, you know what I'm saying? We're bullish on the 15-minute. And so that trend is valid from a perspective of, you know, we see this higher time frame trend. We know we broke it. And so what it can possibly do on this smaller time frame is, because let's say if I extend this trend here, okay, this trend can correlate with this demand zone here. Okay. And so what price could do, price can come down, break through this level here, tap on this trend and this demand level at the same time, and then it continues to the upside. It could do that, and so that can validate that trend on different time frames. Okay, but being that this is a higher time frame trend, we want to be mindful of that. But in this instance, it broke the trend and it closed candles on the daily and the 4-hour. So now we're in bullish momentum now. Okay, looking at it from a trend perspective. However, it still haven't broke. So this is one of the things that some traders used to get confused with from trends and things like that. Like when they look at a trend, they almost negate structure. So you can't necessarily do that. So for example, what I mean by that is, even though, well, let me take the daily off because there's too much going on. Even though, oh crap. Daily, let me take the 4-hour off. What is this? Oh, I can take that out. So let's just say, even though this trend is broken, a lot of traders will just look at this and say, you know what, I'm about to hop in it, take it for a buy, and things like that. However, we can't negate structure. You know, structure is always king. You know what I'm saying? It's over all of that. It's over trends, any of that type of thing. We follow structure. So if the structure is not broken yet, I'm not taking any buys this close to a protected high. Okay? Price can come up and it's liquidity in this area. So what price can do, price can come up, take out this liquidity and don't necessarily close above this area, but however, take out this liquidity and then continue to the downside. That's exactly what it could do. We don't know that yet though, okay? Because like I said, even on the daily, we don't have any candles that closed above this area yet. You know, we're still bearish. Even though prices came up, you know, it's just retraced really, really high within this downward structure. So that's one of the things that we want to be mindful of. Even though we have a trend, that's just for visual effects for me, because I don't really trade trend lines like that, but I put it on there to kind of follow a steep trend, because this trend, it didn't really have any market structure, so I wanted to kind of follow it. It's a valid trend because it has, you know, 3 or more touches. We have 1, 2, and 3, and then we kind of broke through here. So this could be an early indication that price wants to transition and go bullish, but I don't want to necessarily jump the gun on that until this area is broken. And I hope that answers the question-ish. I kind of went into a hole a lot, but I hope that answers the question. But on this particular pair as well, I probably won't really touch this pair or look at this pair because, like I said, we're well within this area here. And so one of the things that I would like to see, if price can break this area, let's say if price breaks this high here and then give us a break of structure, retest, then oh yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it then. Then from there, entry right above this area here, you can ride this thing down to possibly this area here, or you can ride it all the way down to the H4 low down here. You know, just depending on where you catch it, or if you catch it, or if the market does that type of thing. But that's one of the things I'll be looking for. But first, I'll need to see a break of this area. So I'll actually put an alert here. GU breaks. Okay. GU breaks M15 high, weak high. I'll say that. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so now that's what I pretty much have on GU. All right, so let's move on to gold. Let's move to the golden girl. All right, this is the one that I'm definitely going to be locked in on, is gold. Name so I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but hey, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome. All right, you guys, so check it out. So we have gold, all right? And so with gold is bearish on a daily time frame. All right, and we can see the market structure: lower low, lower high, lower low, lower low. And so gold literally just completed a Fibonacci sequence. Okay, and so what I mean by that is, let's say we looked at this swing here. Okay, we did our fib from the high and this low here. Okay, so when you're looking at Fibonacci sequences, there's four main areas that you're looking at. Okay, your first point is A, you have B, C, and then D is typically your -27 or your -61.8. Okay, so we can see that price retraced into our golden zone and then it dropped off. And one of the things that we can see is that price came down wicked into our negative 61.8, which is our second TP usually on a fib, and it shows some rejection. Okay. A second confluence is it tapped into a daily demand zone. All right. Now, one of the things that I understand as well, that we have a lot of traders that trade support and resistance. Okay. And so one of the things that I saw right off the bat is if I throw on some support and resistance levels, we can see that we have a level of support down in this area here. Price came down, tapped this area, broke through, gave another rejection, skyrocketed up. Price came down, tapped into this area again here, showed some rejection, okay? And this is literally right before 1800. We all know that those major numbers like that are major psychological levels in gold, okay? We got 1800, 1900, 2000 and all of that kind of thing. 1700, all of that kind of thing, okay? So being that we're bearish and we show some rejection here, let's drop to the 4 hour. Let me take these levels off, these support resistance levels. Let's look at it. So we had a bit of consolidation for quite some time on the 4 hour from support and resistance levels, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and remove those, and I'm gonna throw on our 4 hour time frame. So now on our 4 hour time frame, we have a huge leg from the 4 hour. Now our 4 hour structure is literally here, you guys. Lower low, lower high, lower low. This is our entire leg of structure. And I'm gonna show you guys why. Okay. Some may just look at this and say, well, this is my 4 hour pullback here, but it's actually not valid. Okay. And let me show you why. If we look at this, you have this candle here. Okay. And I'm gonna draw these. I'm gonna draw a line like this here. Let me make this line dark so we can all see it. And we got another one here. Okay. This candle, all of these candles are pretty much in the mix of this candle here. And then we get this high impulse, which is one candle. All of this is almost like consolidation, so to speak. Everything is ranging in this particular candle. We don't have any candles that necessarily close outside of the range of this candle. Even though we have 1, 2 candles, this is not necessarily a pullback. Okay, so this is not necessarily a retracement. This is a complex pullback, and then price dropped and dipped off to the downside. So this is not our H4. And so a lot of people may mistake that for H4 high, which is not. Now, if we come up here, let's validate it. Let's validate our H4 high. So if we look at this, we can see previously we had a higher high here, higher low here. Okay, a lot of people don't see it because it's really small. But if you look at it, we got this candle, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles that poured outside of this range. Okay, so we got a higher high, higher low, higher high. Price broke up. Okay, then we had a break of structure. Bam. Broke structure right here, gave us a pullback, and then price dipped off to the downside, which validates this here as our H4 high. Okay, that's why I said with gold, we have a lot of room to work with on our pullback. So if we look at this, this is our golden zone right here for gold. Okay, this is our golden zone. And so if we look at where price is right now, let's measure that. So from here all the way up to this area here, that's about 360 pips to this supply zone here. But like I said, we have a supply zone all the way up here that we can look at as well. Anything in this golden zone is valid, but right now we can literally play off the counter swing, because look at this. In this area, we don't have any order blocks in this area. So this is all unhealthy price action. And what I mean by that is we don't have any supply zones to kind of, stop the downward movement in this. So right now, I'm looking for clean market structure for price to come up to this area and take out all of this unhealthy price action. All these unfulfilled orders, I'm looking for price to come up to that area. Now, if we drop to the 15 minute, let's look at it. 15-minute time frame. Let's look at what we got. Okay. So we have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Price came up. It broke structure here, but then it consolidated for quite some time and then decided to break again. Broke the low. Okay. Came up, gave us another lower high, broke the low, and then broke structure during NFP. Okay. Broke structure right here during NFP. It also gave us a pullback as well. If you see right here, when it broke structure, gave us that pullback, and then it broke the high right here. Okay. So one of the things, one of the things I want to see with gold, one of the things I want to see with gold, we have a couple opportunities that we can look at. So right now, I'm looking at this as my swing, my 15-minute swing structure here. Okay. This is my 15-minute low, 15-minute high. One of the things that we could probably look at, we have a 15-minute demand level here. So price can possibly come down, tap into this area, take out this high here. Okay. But we also have a 5-minute here. If we come here, that give us a better risk to reward in this area. We can see we have this imbalance here. Price can possibly come down to this area, tap into this, and shoot to the upside. Additionally, one thing that we need to be mindful of is we have this order block here. And whenever I see order blocks that look like this, two candles that are similar, it automatically puts me in a mode of the 50% order block strategy. And that's actually in our YouTube talking about that. But I want to be mindful of this as well. But one thing I am, aware of is this is our low here. So for me, I want to see price tap into this on a 1 minute, give me a break of structure retest, and I'm gonna be patient on that. Give me a break of structure retest, and then I can ride this up possibly to take out this high here, or possibly take it up to this 15-minute area here. You can see we have a supply level all the way in this area here. We can possibly take out that. Oh, let me go to the 15. I'm sorry. We have a supply here. And for those who can handle the psychology of sitting in trades like that, they can possibly ride it all the way up to this H4 area here. So one of the things I'm going to do is put on an alert as to when it hits this 15-minute area. Okay. Gold taps into 15-minute POI. Okay. Make sure that this goes into our Discord so everybody can get it. All right, cool. All right. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Okay, cool. All right. So when price come down here, we can take notice, and hopefully price can come down here, give us the reaction that we're looking for, and continue to the upside. Now I can show you guys the trade that I'm currently in on this particular pair. And like I said, I'm up like 184 pips or something like that. So this is the trade that I'm currently in now. I actually caught it way down here around 1813. And so my target is literally up to this area here. And so for me, I've already taken partial profits on this. So right now I'm in this trade with very, very little, with a very, very little amount. And my stop loss is actually at break even right now. And so I'm just going to ride it up and hopefully to see if I can actually make it up there and see if I can actually reach and conquer a goal of mine. Like I said, I have a goal to surpass 400 pips. So hopefully I can do that, and that'll be a major milestone for me. But that's the current trade that I'm currently in right now on gold. And that's the analysis that I do see on gold. Okay. Like I said, gold, USDCAD will probably be my primary two pairs that I'll be looking at this week. All right. So now let's move to the next one. So NZD Chef, I might go ahead and bypass that. And let's go ahead and move to NAS100 first. And then we'll go to, let's look at US30 first. Let's look at US30, and then we'll go over to NAS100. All right, so let's look at our daily. And NZD100 is actually a pair that I haven't marked up at all. So we'll mark that one up from scratch. Okay. So looking at US30, one of the things that we can see, it's almost looking almost like EU, so to speak, you know, a little bit. And so we can see that we had a break of structure and it tapped into this daily demand on our daily. Okay. So one of the things I'm looking for this, we have a couple of areas. As we can see, it currently tapped into this daily supply here already. We also have another one in this area here that price can possibly tap into, that it actually did tap into. And we also have one all the way up here. We can look at that if price kind of breaks through these areas here. All right, so let's drop to the 4 hour on US30. Now let me move these over to my daily, and I want to kind of hide my daily right quick. All right, move that out the way. So our 4 hour structure is bearish as well. As you can see, lower low, lower high, lower low. All right. Currently right now, we can see that price kind of gave a liquidity grab, broke through this supply zone here, and kind of closed, you know, well within this supply zone here. Excuse me. So one of the things I'd like to see is for a price to possibly break structure on a smaller time frame, and then it can dip off to the downside. Or if not, you know, price can come up a little bit higher, tap into this, or we can tap into this demand zone and then go higher. Let's drop to our 15 minute to see what price looks like. Okay. So right now, one of the things that we can see is we had a, you know, lower low, lower high, lower low, break of structure, and then we have bullish momentum, you know, kind of throughout this thing. Okay. And right now we have a huge 15-minute, actually, wait a second. I think I have something a little bit wrong here. Okay, I do. Actually, the 15-minute is here because we have one, then we have this candle here, which gave us our high. And we got 1, 2, 3, but this one broke out of the range. 1, 2, 2 candle pullback. So, okay, this is good. So I can actually move this up, you guys, to this area here. So this is our 15-minute structure here. All right. So one of the things that we can look for with this particular pair is if price breaks structure here. You know, it's still a little risky for US30 though, because we got this huge demand level. It could bounce off this and continue to the upside. Hold on for a second. Okay, yeah, and right now we're well within our golden zone. So for me, the ideal scenario would be for us to see or experience a break of structure here. All right, this is actually, that's strong. All right, break of structure retest, and we can possibly ride this down a little lower because we are bearish overall. Okay, so I'll add this and say US30 15-minute BOS. Okay. So if we can, like I said, if we can get that break of structure, we can possibly ride price down to the downside because overall we're still bearish. All right. All right, you guys. So let's look at NZD100, and we're gonna mark this one up totally from scratch. I don't have any markups on this one, and I'm gonna pretty much just walk through my entire process of how I look at pairs, you know, from beginning to end. All right. So. As always, we always start with the daily, okay? And so we kind of look and see what price is doing, what's the story, where it is within the market, all of that kind of thing. And so, excuse me. One of the things that I can see is that we had a higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down in this area, and let's see if it actually broke structure. So let me go ahead and mark up my points here. high there. We have a low. We have a high in this area here. Now I want to drag this over to see exactly what happened. All right. So in this area, it actually did break structure, and we can see that we have some candle closures right in this area here. Okay. We have candle body closures. And so that validates our break of structure. Price came back, tapped into this area up in here, and we can see price tapped into this imbalance in this area right here. Well, it got close to it. It's close enough. Okay, tapped into this imbalance, and it decided to come off and take out this low here. We can see, well, let's see. Okay, it didn't necessarily take out this low yet. Okay. Let's do the dash line here. All right, hasn't necessarily taken out this low, but we did get a pullback in this area here. Okay, so right now, I want to see price take out this area. We're showing some rejection. So right now, this is breaker structure daily right there. All right. So now, like I said, we have price here. We have a supply zone here. All right. And then we also have another one in this area right here. Okay. So we have those two supply zones. So right now, this isn't a valid low as of yet because we don't have any body closures below this point here. Okay. And I'm going to save all this into a daily folder. Call this daily. It allows me to kind of separate and distinguish from the different time frames and things like that. Okay. So now, hold on. One thing I do see though, we have this demand level here that price is rejecting off of. Daily demand. Okay. Put that in our daily area as well. All right, perfect. All right, so let's drop to the 4 hour and see what we have. All right. So now I want to look at our lowest point first. Okay, if we kind of look at it, this is kind of sort of like our lowest point in this area here. All right, now let's look at our structure. That's our lowest point. Okay. And then we have this area here. I'll make this bigger. Got a lot of liquidity in this area, but this was our low. And I say that because we can see that price came down. Price came down, give us a lower low, lower high. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me not do that. Okay. We have a couple areas. Let me mark these up. We got this area right here. And that's why we always got to take our time and look at it as well. So we got lower low, lower high, lower low. 1, 2. Yep. Lower high, lower low. Lower low. Okay, this is all kind of sort of like consolidation in this area here. All right, so we had a breaker structure right here. We had a breaker structure right here on the 4 hour. Okay, to make sure we analyze that correctly. had a breaker structure, price came down, gave us a retest in this area here. Okay. And then price came up and decided to dip off, and it took out these highs. It took out all this liquidity in these highs here. Okay, so right now we transition to bullish on NZD100. Okay, price came down, tapped into this daily, gave us that transition. All right, and so one of the things that we can see is on a 4 hour, let's go ahead and mark up our protected low, which is this area here. So our protected low here on our H4. And then right now we don't necessarily have a protected high because price is just kind of, you know, in the wind, so to speak. So I'm gonna mark this area here. Hold on, let me drop to a smaller time frame and mark up this little. All right, that's my H4 right there. All right, so let me hide my daily for a second and all of my H4. Let me put that in a group. H4 structure. All right, that way if I need to hide that, it's a lot easier for me. Another thing I can see is we got this huge bullish engulfing on the 4 hour. Got this 4 hour demand level here. I want to see price tap into this and possibly continue to the upside. All right. We also have this demand level here, but I like this imbalance in this area. So I'm gonna mark up this entire area for my supply zone on the H4. All right. And I want all of this to be in that group. All right. Perfect. Okay. So now let's drop to the 15 minute and see what we have. All right. So now on the 15 minute time frame, it looks extremely weird, looks choppy, looks all type of stuff. All right. So we want to start with the area that we can see. A lot of times you have to go back a little bit. I want to start with the area that you can most likely see, because in here, it's a lot of confusion. Okay, so you want to start where there's clear structure and then you work your way up. All right, so one of the things that I can see just right off the bat is we got clean structure in this area here. All right, and so I like to indicate this structure by using, you know, like little circle dots and, you know, the little trend lines or whatever. So for me, I'll start with my circle dots first. Let me go ahead and change this. And I'll just mark this one up here first. All right. And I'll say this was a high. We got a lower low here, lower high. Let's see, lower low down here. And we had a break of structure. Okay. We had a break of structure right here. And 15 break of structure. All right. Price came up, gave us a retest because this area here, this was the demand level that actually led to the break of this high here. All right, price came down, tapped into it, and then decided to dip off. Okay, it didn't necessarily give us that 50% retracement, and sometimes it won't always do that. And if that happens, that's okay. Those are trades that we just don't take because the risk to reward is not that great. All right, so we missed that, and that's fine. So price decided to dip into this, came up. Now we can kind of follow the structure of what we see. All right, so now we have this high here, we have a low here, and we also have a high here. All right, I'll make sure we mark these up so we can kind of follow along with what we can see. All right, let me mark these up too as well. Oh man, my mouse just straight went out on me. That's crazy. Let me see if I can add some type of something up in this mug. But my mouse just went out on me, y'all. I'm gonna see if I can actually charge it a little bit. But I don't know if you guys can actually see the trend and the structure of what I'm doing. Let me see, what is this? Okay, this is probably the one that I'll probably need. Yeah, there we go. It's connected. So I probably won't have that long before it dies. But one of the things that we can see is we can clearly see this structure here. And then let's look at this. Price gave us a breaker structure here. Okay. I'm gonna try to mark this up fast before my mouse dies on me again. Uh-oh. $15 minutes. We can see that we had a breakup structure here. Price came up, gave us another low. Okay. Bam, 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 and bam. All right. All right. So from there, we instantly got another breakup structure in this area right here on the 15-minute time frame. All right, so we want to make sure that we understand the structure as we're going along with this. Okay, I just lost connection on my mouse again. So I'm gonna try to recharge it again, but we'll probably have to end in a minute, you guys, because my mouse, my mouse has died on me and it's giving me all type of problems. But what you guys can see, like I said, you can see how we go through the 15-minute, because sometimes you have to go back to understand the structure, because the structure can look really, really choppy. You can see multiple breaks of structure real close to each other and things like that. So you just got to mark it up to actually understand the story and see where it's going. All right, I'm gonna try to do this real quick. Let's see if it'll connect for me. Charge it up a little bit more. SP, what's going on? No problem, no problem. All right, let me go ahead and see if I can hurry this up. Okay, there got my mouse. All right, so one of the things that we can see, we know we got this demand level down here, and we know we got this 15-minute breakup structure. So on the 15-minute, we don't have anything here, any demand levels, except for all the way down here. So one of the things that I want to look for on NZD100 is for price demand level. I want to see price come down to this area, tap into this, and then continue to the upside. Okay, and so I'll add an alert in this area down here for NZD100, approaching POI. Okay, and then that can be a nice trade to ride up to the upside and kind of ride the wave with NZD100. And like I said, this can be a actually really good trade if we catch it all the way down there on that 15-minute demand level. Okay, because that demand level, when you look at it, is close to our our H4 strong area. Okay, so we want to see price come down here, tap into this breaker structure, retest on a smaller time frame, and we can ride it up to the upside. Okay, you guys. Hey, like I said, my mouse is getting ready to die again. And hey, you guys, I want to thank you guys for rocking with me today. Like I said, if you have any questions, reach out to me in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. And I'll see y'all on the next video. I'm out.